When I was a boy in Scotland, as a wee boy, I used to go to football matches with my uncle and with my grandfather. And at that time, in a very different time from now, in the 1950s, it was customary for my uncle to simply lift me over the turnstiles. No payment, no ticket, no nothing. He just picked me up and put me on the other side of the turnstile, and then we would go through. It was a standard practice. It wasn't that he was violating some great principle. It was sort of wee ones, it's like children eat for free, that kind of thing. You had to stand there crushed to death in any case, and it was virtually impossible to see anything. You were virtually in irrelevancy. But I can still remember that wonderful feeling of them just picking me up and putting me on the other side. And if anybody ever asked, how did you get in here? I say, he put me in here. Or if somebody challenged my uncle about this boy, my uncle would say, he's with me. You stand at the gates of heaven. What are you going to say? You're only going to say, I'm with him. What possible reality is for us unless Jesus says to the Father, Father, she's with me. She's with me. I shed my blood for her. She trusted in me. I opened up a new and living way by entering into heaven itself. She trusted in that. If you look, you'll see her name is there. She didn't write her own name in. And neither can I. And neither will you. We are what we are by the grace of God, and the invitation extends widely, vastly, universally. Come, come. Finally, if what we're supposed to be doing is shouting and serving and singing, if how we're supposed to do it is on the strength of knowing who God is and knowing who we are, if where we're supposed to do it is in the presence of God's people, why are we supposed to do it? Well, you can see the answer is right there in the verse. Verse 5, with the conjunction, for. For what? Well, first of all, the Lord is good. The Lord is good. God is good all the time, no matter how we feel. Trials, temptations, difficulties, and disappointments are reality for all of us. Anybody who denies that is not living in the real world. I don't know what's wrong with them. They need a tremendous amount of help. God is good. Therefore, I know this, that he will not cause his children to cry needless tears. He won't cause his children to cry needless tears. We've all done that with our children, haven't we? I've done that with my girls, particularly when some boys come around in the old days. And I told them, this boy has got to go. And they wept. And I said, don't cry needless tears. Do you know anyone who loves you more than I love you? Apart from your mom? No. Then do you think that I would harm you? No. Then don't cry. Trust me. But I understand how you feel. In the same way, the Father knows us, loves us, and will not remove from us or fail to grant to us anything that is needful and necessary for the accomplishment of his purposes. Therefore, when days of sorrow still come o'er me, and sorrow's path I oft may tread, still I will affirm in the presence of God's people, God is good. And we know he is good as it is expressed in the final two phrases in the King James Version, for his mercy is everlasting and his truth endures to all generations. It is described here, mercy is translated in the ESV as his steadfast love. In other words, it's a love that never quits. He's a covenant-keeping God. He will keep all of his promises. And not only will he keep all of his promises for us, but his faithfulness, thirdly, extends to all generations. His faithfulness extends to all generations. That is a tremendous encouragement, isn't it? As God has been faithful through all the story of the Bible, through all the story of church history, that he's been faithful to his people, so he will be faithful not only to us, but also to our children and our children's children. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? Then if you believe that, why do you have such a long face half the time? Why are you so panic-ridden half the time? Oh, is it only me that feels that way? Yes, sorry, I saw my face in the mirror. Yes, I now sound like my grandfather, who at some point in his life, probably when he was old, like around the age of 61, began to say, what in this world, what is this world coming to? How will our children ever make it? Will our grandchildren ever manage to survive with all of these alien pressures? What's the answer to that question? The answer is here at the end of Psalm 100. His steadfast love endures forever, and his faithfulness to all generations. Do you think that he can only, do you think he's quitting after this generation? Are we so egomaniacal that we believe that really once we're finished, that pretty well wraps it up? That, he'll have run out of his mercy and his everlasting love is bringing it to an end with us. No. Definitely no. 1,000 times no. What is he saying here? He's saying that he is the one who made us, so that the heavenly potter is not going to discard his work. He made us. He's the potter. We are the clay. Funny-looking creatures, there's no doubt about that, with indentations and bumps, many of which have been caused as a result of our own sins and foolishnesses. But he's not going to chuck us. He's not going to crush us and dump us. His faithfulness extends from generation to generation. He is the shepherd who looks after his sheep. He's not going to throw you out of the flock. He didn't redeem you. He didn't make you. He didn't save you to get rid of you. And it is on that basis. Why would I sing? Because he is good, because he is faithful, because his generations will still live to please him. This is a great psalm. I hope you will read it at your celebrations, and I will try and do so as well, having exhorted you in that way. And I have no shame in telling you that on this week, when so many of you have walked through the valley of the shadow of death, this psalm, I trust, will be to you what it has been to me. For this is a very personal psalm to me. It's not happenstance that Truth for Life has as its theme music the Old Hundredth. That was a very cognitive decision on my part. I wanted that song. I wanted that melody line. Why? Well, because my mother. Was she like that? No, I don't know if she did or she didn't. But my mother never ever gave me verses. She never gave me verses. I didn't get like a lunchbox with John 3:16 or anything on it. She wasn't that kind of lady. She wasn't that kind of versy lady. She lived the gospel. Most of my understanding of my mother's love for Jesus came through a sort of sanctified humor, which was just so joyful, the absence of which was so obvious in our family when she was gone. But on the 28th of October 1972, when I got my routine letter while I was a student, just an ordinary letter in my mother's hand announcing the fact that yesterday my youngest sister got a new coat and I should probably go to the tailor and get measured for a suit because my cousin's wedding's coming up. And she mentions that once and then she comes back to it at the end. Don't forget to get a tailor as the time is short. Yes, Mom, okay. The girls join us, that's with my dad, and sending their love. And then she says, see you soon. See you soon. It's a lifetime since I've seen her. See you soon. DV. Deo Valente. God willing. I'll see you soon if God wills. That was Sunday the 28th. Wednesday the 1st, she died of a massive heart attack. She never gave me verses. But she did this time. Psalm 100. Enter his gates with thanksgiving, and his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him, and bless his name. For the Lord is good. His mercy is everlasting, and his truth endures to all generations. It's like she said from the grave, son, God took care of me, and he will take care of you, and he will take care of those whom he gives to you. Shout to him, serve him, sing to him. Don't doubt him. Don't miss the opportunity to be in the presence of God, to give him the praise that he deserves. Don't short change yourself in the opportunities to prepare for the great praise service that will be ours in heaven.